I'm Sandra a training and development professional versed in soft skills and technology training. I'm here today to talk about the topic of project management. Why project management? Why is it useful to us, and how can it benefit us? We use it every day in our lives, at work and even at home, and it truly is a methodology. I'm going to share a quick story with you. A couple months ago, I taught this class, and I asked the participants that same question. What does project management mean to you? Some of them responded with action registers, risk logs, spreadsheets, all the tools. And I explained to them that project management is more than just templates and tools. There's an art and a science to it. And today, we're going to talk about the art of project management during my whiteboard review. So let's start. What does the art of project management really mean? I've managed multiple projects around training and development, software, technology, and I've learned a lot. So for me, some important elements are behaviors, concepts, and people. What do behaviors have to do with project management? They have everything to do with the project manager, who is the leader on the project. He or she is the one who leads the charge from beginning to end. Because there's always a definite beginning and a definite end to a project. And in between that beginning and end, there's skills, there are tools, there's concepts, and there's people. And the behaviors are so important because those are the skills that a project team leader needs to be successful. Now there's many of them, but the three that are important to me that I've learned are critical thinking, communication, and empathy. Why critical thinking skills? Project manager must be able to execute and deliver tasks in a timely fashion. While he or she is doing that, they must be able to use critical thinking skills when evaluating a situation, asking why questions, and being able to problem solve that situation. They also need to be able to use critical thinking skills when things change. Because we all know change happens. It happens in our daily lives and it happens in our projects. Being able to have that foresight and be proactive and think ahead of what's going to come. That's where those critical thinking skills come into play. On to communication. Communication is a broad concept. There's assertive communication, which I like to refer to as purposeful or respectful communication. And a project manager, especially in a leadership position, really needs to be able to communicate in a purposeful, respectful way with the team, especially if there's changes. And also being able to communicate project status updates, whether it's weekly or monthly. And there may be times where he or she may need to have a constructive conversation with a team member, or a sponsor who you're going to hear about a little later, or a subject matter expert. So it's critical thinking, purposeful communication, and last but not least, one of the things that I think are most important in everyday life, but also to a project manager, is having empathy. Why would empathy be important to a project manager? He or she has to understand the people on the project team and the roles that they play. Without understanding the people and the things that they do, how can he or she motivate, influence, and persuade them to come through on the project? So this is the behaviors, critical thinking, communications, and empathy. The second element that I think is important to the art of project management are concepts. And the three that I chose are objective, milestones, and risks. The project starts with your objective. It's the intent. It's what you want to accomplish with the project. The objective, and this is all too familiar for all of us in the training industry, we've all used it. The objective in a project must be SMART. It's got to be specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound. I'm going to read you an example of a SMART objective. By October 12, 2015, the college will upgrade the electronic mailing system Google Apps. In collaboration with Information Technology Services, The College of Academic Affairs will lead the training and support efforts for all faculty and staff. Starting Monday, September 14th, 2015, through and until Saturday, September 26th, Technology and Training will deliver 2 instructor-led training sessions 2 times per day in the library's training room. For additional training and support, 1 e-learning course will be uploaded in Moodle by September 30th, with all training assignments completed and tracked by October 2nd. How is this a SMART objective? It's specific because it describes the who and the what. The college, library services, academic affairs, IT, the what. We're upgrading Google Apps. How is it measurable? Measurable includes how much or how many. We talk about the number of training sessions in the objective. Is it action-oriented with a result? They have the 2 instructor-led training sessions 2 times per day in the 1 e-learning course, and their learning will be tracked in the system. There's where you'll see the results. Is it realistic? It's an upgrade that's going to help this college be more productive. And is it time-bound? There's specific dates in there that could lead to the success of the project. So we have our SMART objective. The other concept we want to talk about is milestones. A milestone is like a goal. Okay, it's a significant point or event in the project. Your milestones also should be SMART. They definitely need to be specific, they definitely need to be action-oriented, and they need to be verified. What do you think are some examples of milestones for this project? 2 examples that come to mind are testing and training. So let's get specific with the testing. One example would be IT will perform software application test on August 15th. Another example might be for training as a milestone. Library services will develop ILT courses, 2 ILT courses, by August 21st. Library services will also create the training schedule and roll out the training by August 30th. So as you can see, we have our SMART component that's part of our objective and our milestones. What is something that could get in the way? We call those risks. Another concept under the art of project management. What do you need to do to make sure risks don't stall the project? If we take our critical thinking skills, remember using that foresight as the project manager, being proactive, identifying risks up front. Once you've identified them, then it's time to mitigate them so they don't happen. And any critical risks would be escalated to the people on the project team. This brings us to our 3rd element of the art of project management. Some examples of the people on the project team would be a sponsor, a subject matter expert, or as some people know them as SMEs, and stakeholders. An example of a sponsor on a project maybe would be the IT director. Your SMEs would be somebody from the vendor, or might be somebody on the IT team who knows the specifics and ins and outs of the product. And your stakeholders are you and I, it's the customers. So we've talked about the art of project management, including behaviors, concepts, and people, and the importance of using SMART requirements. Before I close, I want to share the end of that story with you. So I asked that group the question, what does project management mean to you? At the beginning of the session, they talked about tools and templates. At the end, I asked them the same question. So everyone, now I'm going to ask you again, what does project management mean to you? One of the participants raised his hand and said, you know, Sandra, in the beginning, before we started this session, I came in thinking project management is just templates and tools. But he said, based on our conversations, our discussions, and the activities that we did with each other, I now know that it truly is a methodology. In addition to his comment, one of the other participants, when asked what can you take away from this session, one of the other participants thought that the writing an objective for 10 minutes, which is what I had them do as an activity, 10 to 15 minutes, write a specific objective using SMART requirements, and he happened to be the director of the group, at the end said one of the most useful things that you could have done for us was to have us spend time to write an objective. And what I learned from that was, without having a specific objective, not only could the training have fallen apart, but I can now see how a project can be stalled, or even fall apart, or not help us get to the closure and delivery of the project. So project management is an art and a science, but it starts with the art of project management. Our next session, we're going to discuss the science, which includes defining tools and templates and using activities to be able to apply them to the methodology of project management. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach me at sandrapiccolo64@hotmail.com. Have a great day.